Okay, in this video we are going to start looking at the WJC additional maths paper from June 2014. So question number 1 starts with our differentiation. So we only really know how to differentiate one sort of expression at this stage, and those are expressions of the form y equals x to the power of n, where if we differentiate those, so dy by dx, we get n x to the n minus 1. So the power comes out in front and then drops by 1. If the x to the n is multiplied by something, some sort of constant, then dy by dx, the gradient, will be that constant multiplied by the gradient of x to the n. So when we have y equals 6x to the 5 plus 7x minus 2, then our gradient, dy by dx, is going to be, well, 6x to the 5 is going to differentiate to 6 multiplied by the gradient, or the derivative, of x to the 5, which is 5x to the 4. So 6 times 5 is 30, so that's 30x to the 4. Okay, then we got plus 7x. Well, 7x will differentiate to 7 multiplied by the derivative of x. Well, x differentiates to 1. So that's 7 times 1, which is 7. So plus 7. And then the negative 2 at the end will differentiate to 0 because all constants have no gradient. Okay, part B. First things first, we need to check if it's in differentiable form, which is in this format for us, y equals ax to the n. At the moment, it's not, because the x to the power of n is on the bottom of a fraction. So we have to deal with that first. So the first thing that we do is we rewrite this as y equals x to the power of negative 6. Then we can differentiate. So dy by dx will equals, so there's no coefficient here, so we can just bring the power out in front, so negative 6, x, and then drop the power by 1. So that will be negative 7. Just be careful with your negatives. Okay, C, it's in a x to the n form, so that's fine to differentiate. So we can go ahead, dy by dx equals, so the power comes out in front, 5 over 2, x, and then we need to drop the power by 1. Well, 5 over 2 take away 1. Well, if we think about that 1 in terms of halves, because the other one is in terms of halves, 1 whole is, so 5 halves take away 2 halves. So 5 halves take away 2 halves will leave us with 3 halves. So we're left with x to the power 3 over 2.